Oh, welcome back to Flw TV. It's time for the latest edition of the EFL Betting Show. A full fixture list coming up this weekend in the EFL, and we're going to try and hopefully make you some money. Joining me are Billy Mully and Ned Holmes this morning. Billy, how are you?
Yeah, doing well, thank you. I think from these betting shows, my wild cards are always quite wild, and I think I've got another one in store today.
Looking forward to that one. Ned, how are you this morning?
Yeah, particularly excited now to hear what Billy's got to say on the wild card. Yeah, all good from my perspective. I think a couple of winners for me. Well, one winner and one that went really close last week. So hopefully can follow up with a bit more success.
Good stuff. Wildcard coming up last of the four things we've got to run through this morning. So hopefully that will keep people tuned in. We're across Facebook, YouTube and Twitter for probably the next 15 or so minutes. Before we get going, should just say, remember, of course, to always gamble responsibly and please be over 18 if you're looking to place a bet. Let's get going. Billy, we'll come to you first of all. What's your banker for this weekend?
I've got Sheffield United to beat Birmingham at 4-9. I think just looking at everything Sheffield United have done so far, they've been head and shoulders above the division. Real balance sort of throughout the team. You look at McBurney, the form he's been in, and Jai has been a constant threat all season. Berger and Ollie Norwood, have been as good as you can get in the Championship, and Egan and Ahmed Zodzic have been absolutely brilliant standout performers, and it's just that consistency throughout the team. They're delivering very good performances week in, week out. Haven't lost since the opening day of the season, rightfully atop of the Championship, and you just look at them at the moment, you can't really see a way that a team can get past them. Birmingham have impressed under Eustace, and whilst there seems to be good things happening and they're building towards something, I think playing against Sheffield United at Bramall Lane, the place where they've been excellent for the last sort of 14 months or so since they've been back in the Championship, can't really see anything bar a Sheffield United win here, and that's at 4-9.
Okay, yeah, no, I think that's a pretty good shout for a bank of Sheffield United, as you mentioned, Billy. In brilliant form at the moment, looking good at this early stage. Ned, what's your banker?
My bank is coming from the southwest, from Ashton Gate. I've got Bristol City and QPR over 2.5 goals. I think the lads on the top, not the top 20 podcasts, have labelled a few times Bristol City as the architects of chaos or something like that. In the Championship this season, they've been exactly that. 35 goals in their 10 games. So conceded 16 times, but despite that, they've sort of shown no signs of changing that approach, and you can understand why, as you know, the goals have been firing in. The likes of Naki Wells, Andy Vyman, Anton Semenyo is supposedly fit now to start. Tommy Conway, of course, and then there's been plenty of goals in the Ars games as well. 14 scored, 11 conceded, and they play a pretty open game, so it does seem to be likely to be a bit of a goal fest down at Ashton Gate. I wouldn't really want to pick a winner, despite City winning 3 on the bounce in BS3. You just never know, really. But it does feel like we're going to get more than 2.5 goals in this one, and that's 4-5.
Yeah, I don't think that's a too bad a shout, Ned. Like you say as well, Bristol City, their home form much better than what it was at this stage last season, of course, where they were really struggling at home. So yeah, could be an exciting game to watch between those two. Let's get on to accumulators now. Billy, we'll come back to you. What's your shout here?
So I've got a threefold here, starting with that Sheffield United game. I've then got Sunderland to beat Preston North End, and I know that the striker issue at the club at the moment might force people to stay away from Sunderland, but I think we've seen with the creative talents they've got, sort of Patrick Roberts' ability to play a false 9 if need be. Other players as well can step into that position if need be. And we're just seeing really, really good football under Tony Mowbray. He's given those sort of more youthful players that confidence to go out and really express themselves in a higher division. There's been no signs of slowing down. There's been no signs of being cagey at all. They're playing an exciting brand of football, and I think that could be enough to get past Preston North End side, who have, of course, been very, very resilient at the start of this season. But 1 point from the last 3 games, signs of things not going as smoothly as they were at the start of the campaign from a defensive standpoint. Still really, really struggling to score goals, 3 goals all season, and only one of them has been scored by a striker. So there's a clear issue there. Sunderland's playing at home as well. That should be another big plus for them. Second one I've got, the third and final, including that Sheffield United one, is Burnley to beat Cardiff at 29-20 as an individual selection. Burnley as well play this really exciting brand of football under Vincent Kompany. Of course, these players needed to adapt at the start of the season, but I think they're starting to show signs now that they're going to be a top team. They're going to be a team that competes in and around with Sheffield United come the end of the season. They're going in the right direction. Like I said about Sheffield United, they've got that balance as well within the side. Harwood Bellis has been excellent. Midfield, Josh Brownhill has been particularly stood out so far. Teller as well, Nathan Teller has been a real bright addition, and sort of Manuel Benson and players like that bring that sort of attacking quality, and they've been churning out chances for fun. I think Cardiff, if they are to get anything from it, they need to press aggressively. I think teams that have gone to play Burnley and pressed aggressively have been able to get joy, but at the moment they're just in a bit of a difficult period. Of course, it's a good audition for Hudson to really impress and try and get this job on a full-time basis. But ultimately, Burnley is probably one of the, taking out Sheffield United from the equation, it's the most difficult game to play at the moment, and I'm sure they'll find that out. Sorry, all that together is 7.13 to 1.
Sounds good. You're relying quite a lot on Sheffield United so far this weekend, Billy. We'll hope that they achieve a win for you this weekend. Ned, what's your accumulated looking like?
Just like Billy, I'm starting with my banker, so Bristol City and QPR over 2.5 goals. It's a fourfold at 8.36 to 1. I've got Sheffield United to beat Birmingham as well, as really as Billy said. Top league for a reason in the division this term, and I expect them to continue their sterling season against Birmingham. Not that I haven't been sort of impressed by the Blues. Actually, they've been better than I thought they would be under John Eustace, but I still can't see them travelling United too much. Next, I've got Sheffield rivals Sheffield Wednesday to Port Vale. You think the Owls have really impressed me on the road this season, well, particularly in the last few weeks. And they brushed Wycombe aside last weekend, so as impressive as a start as Port Vale have made to life in League One, and for me, I think they have been really impressive. I see the 3 points heading back to Sheffield with the Owls. And then finally, Orient to beat Newport County. Record-breaking start for the O's. 28 points, I think it is, from their first 10 League Two games. The first team ever to do that. That run's got to end sometime, but I don't think it's going to come against a Newport side really struggling for form on Saturday. So that's Orient to beat Newport County, Wednesday to beat Port Vale, Sheffield United to beat Birmingham, and over 2.5 goals in the Bristol City QPR game at 8.36 to 1.
Oh, not bad at all. Be interesting to see if that one comes in. Certainly a little bit of variety in there as well, Ned. Let's move on to value bets next. Billy, what's your one here?
It's a bit of a strange one, given I've been very vocal this season about Ipswich and how I think they're going to succeed and return to the Championship. I still think they're the best team in the division, best squad, best manager, but I think they've hit that a little bit of a sticky patch at the moment with this game coming against Portsmouth at a particularly bad time for them. I don't really want to say that Ipswich will go on and lose this one, because I still have faith in what they can do. They can open teams up at will, regardless of how good the opposition is. But I've gone for Portsmouth or draw at 5 to 6. Portsmouth have been excellent. The only points they've dropped away from home this season was on the opening day against Sheffield Wednesday, and they were really good that day as well. Haven't conceded away from home since then. So they've proven to be really, really tough opposition away from home. They still haven't lost this season. Of course, this will be their biggest test of the campaign, but ultimately they are a side that are thriving at the moment, full of confidence, and the attacking talent that's on display makes for a real exciting game. But ultimately, I can't see Portsmouth not securing somewhat of a result here. So I'm going to, from a value, 5 to 6, Portsmouth or draw at Ipswich.
It's a really exciting game, isn't it, in League One? It's on the agenda as well, the EFL weekend preview show coming up later on today on Football League One TV. Ned, as for you, what's your value bet for this weekend?
Well, it rarely happens, but me and Billy sort of picking the same thing here. I've got Portsmouth away to win at Ipswich away. I've gone for just the win on the nose at 7-2. I think Ipswich have had a tough run of recent fixtures. Sheffield Wednesday, then Plymouth last weekend. That defeat at home park, of course, and things don't get any easier this weekend. I think this is going to be a really testing point for Kieran McKenna's side. How do they respond to that really disappointing defeat? I mean, they've shown over the last few games that late in games they can be vulnerable, and Portsmouth have shown this season that they can be pretty dangerous late in games, and that to me is a combination that I think could hurt Ipswich on the back of a defeat. Whether you wouldn't say confidence is going to be low or anything like that, and they'll obviously be determined to bounce back, but you do wonder whether this is a time where they'll be more vulnerable than they otherwise would be. So yeah, I've gone for Portsmouth to bag a win here at Ipswich at 7-2. But if you're feeling really lucky, and I nearly included this in my wildcard actually, then an Ipswich halftime, Pompey full time is at 33-1, and I think that could be something. So that's a little extra wildcard for everyone, even though we've got 2 more still to come, including Billy's particularly exciting one.
Little bonus from you, Ned. There, I like that. That's quite an interesting shout. A few at Portman Road probably won't be too happy about it, but yeah. Interesting one to look out for. Okay, yeah, we've bigged these wild cards up now this week. Billy, we'll come to you first of all. How wild is this wild card of yours?
Well, Ned said that we both had the same value on. I'd be very, very surprised if we've got the same one here. We like big numbers on the wild card part of this show, and this one is at 250-1. It is of course a big one to end the show, but it's coming tonight's game, Hull City versus Luton. Big opportunity for both. Well, Arveladze needs a positive result given the amount of pressure on him. Luton have the opportunity to temporarily at least go into the playoffs. So both teams will be fully going for this one. I think that might reflect on what I'm about to say here. I've got Colton Morris and Oscar Estupiñán to score. Both players that are at the top of the goal scoring charts already. Morris in unbelievable form, and for some reason he was 4th down in terms of Luton scorers and in terms of the actual value given to him. Estupiñán as well. I know he hasn't been particularly as prolific the last few games, and there's I guess a question of whether he'll start given he was away with the national team with Colombia. But I think the fact that they're in that sort of desperation period at the moment, Hull, they're going to need Estupiñán's physical prowess and ability to score goals. I think he'll play from the start. So I've got them 2 to score, and then I've got 2 players to get booked. Regan Slater sort of hit undroppable form. He's been one of the top performers during this difficult period for Hull, but he's very, very combative. He's somebody that doesn't mind a tackle. I think he's picked up 3 cards already this season. And then I've also got Colton Morris to be booked as well. He's the man doing everything for Luton at the moment. That includes picking up yellow cards. He's got 3 himself. And whilst all the attention is on what he does in front of goal, he's very, in terms of his work rate, his work ethic, his relentlessness, he will chase balls down. He will get himself a yellow card if he needs to. So Morris to score, Morris to be booked, Estupiñán to score, and Slater to be booked is at 250-1.
Not bad. I think that's worth a tenner at least. There's good reason though, Billy. So that doesn't sound so wild now you've explained it all. But yeah, good luck with that one if you are going to go ahead, and whoever's watching that's going to follow Billy into that one, good luck as well. Ned, let's get to your wild card. How does it compare to Billy's there?
I think compared to that, it's hard to call mine a wild card, really, or particularly wild anyway. But I've got Ballymumba to score any time in Plymouth's game against Wickham. I think, I can really see Plymouth having some success away against Wickham, high in confidence after that game. Wickham just not been anywhere near as solid as a side as we've expected. I thought they were moving in the right direction, but last week's defeat to Sheffield Wednesday, a particularly poor one, and I think Plymouth could inflict the same sort of result on them. They've been leaky at the back this season. Wycombe, one of the teams that concedes the most goals, and I think if it's Joe Jacobson they go again at left back, then Ballymumba could really have a field day. Joe Jacobson is a player I like a lot, but I think he can be got at, and Mumba, we saw his attacking prowess against Plymouth, against Ipswich rather, a goal against them, and he's constantly picking up those dangerous positions. He's got the quality to score from sort of tougher opportunities than most wing backs, you'd say, and that's why for me I can see him getting a goal here. So that's Ballymumba to score any time for Plymouth against Wycombe at 7-1.
Not bad at all, Ned. That's not too bad. Shall be interested to see how Ballymumba gets on this week and how all those picks get on this week. And there's certainly some interesting shouts in there. But that's been this week's EFL betting show. Before we go, just time to tell you about the final show coming up on Football League TV for this week at least, and it's not too long until it goes live. Actually, 11 o'clock, the EFL weekend preview starts, looking of course at the Championship, League One and League Two, and some of the biggest games in the EFL fixture list this weekend. Alfie Burns hosting that one. Adam Jones will be joining him, and so will Billy. So we'll see Billy again in just under an hour's time. For those that have been watching, thanks for tuning in. Do, as always, remember to gamble responsibly if you are going to place a bet, and make sure you're 18 or above. And just before we go as well, a quick plug for Football League TV. Do remember to subscribe to the channel on YouTube, and do like this video if you can as well. But for myself, Billy and Ned, have a good weekend, and we'll speak to you soon.